Guys, if you like making money, which I know you do not want to miss this one. In today's episode, we are discussing how to get customers for your pressure washing business. Now, we are on part 5 of a 9-part series. So if this is your first video watching Mr. Bubbles, I suggest, guys, as soon as you get finished with this one, go back to episode 51. And that episode, that was the first part of this marketing series that we're doing. And in that part, we talked about mindset, then we talked about sales. Those are foundational things that you're going to need to be able to grow your business. So I recommend you go back and you watch it from the very beginning. But in today's episode, part 5, we are discussing how to get HOA contracts. And by the way, for you guys that don't know, HOA stands for Home Owners Association. Now, I've done some research on this online, guys, and from what I can see, I don't see anybody else talking about this. I think I am one of the only guys, the only channels that really talks about this quite a lot. And the reason for that being is it is actually 30% of our sales, of our revenue as a company. Right now, just that these HOA contracts bring to us about $500,000 a year worth of business. So you can see how this would be very impactful for you, if you implement these things in your business as well. Now, I network with a lot of guys all throughout the country, from New York to Cali, some guys up in Montana, Detroit. I mean, everywhere I network with guys, and from what I've gathered, every single part of the country has an HOA of some kind. So I highly recommend you guys pay attention on this one, because it's going to make a big difference for you in your business. Now, I will say this, definitely HOA contracts is definitely not something for a new guy. Now, from the back end of the analytics of my channel, what we see is that a lot of you guys that watch my videos and follow my channel, you guys are, most of you, like 80% of you, I would say, are brand spanking new to the business. And a lot of you even are just in the process of, getting your business off the ground. So unfortunately, these HOA contracts is not going to be something that I would focus on if I was you, because to be honest, you're just not going to be able to do them. Like, I'll give you guys a great example. In the beginning of this year, 2023, when our season first began and all of the calls started coming in, one of our contracts, one of the president of this specific HOA called us, and they were having some kind of inspection going on, and they had us do 16 houses a day for 3 weeks straight. Now imagine, for example, if that's you. So let me ask you this. Think about your business right now. Think about how many trucks you have, how much equipment you have. Let's think about how much experience you have. Would you, and the question is this, would you be able to handle 16 jobs a day? Think about it and be honest with yourself. And I guarantee you about 90%, maybe even 95% of you listening to this right now, the answer is unequivocally no. You would not be able to do that. And with these HOA contracts, guys, I mean, you got to have you got to have the equipment. But it actually, what you really need to be able to do these contracts is you got to have the experience. Like we've talked about pretty much in every episode, right? You got to have experience, chemical knowledge, and you got to have commercial grade level, industrial level equipment. So again, you're just not going to be able to get that when you're first starting out. So I don't recommend you put this in motion for yourself, because if you were to somehow as a new guy you were going to be able to get these HOA contracts, quite simply you're just not going to be able to handle them, and all you're going to do is burn bridges in your marketplace, and you don't want to do anything to destroy your reputation. So let's dive right in. Today we're doing a deep dive on how to acquire these HOA contracts. Okay, so the first thing I got on here, guys, is if you remember from episode 52, that's part 2 of the marketing series, we talked about sales. Now, one of the things that you're going to have to implement in order for these techniques to work for you effectively is you're going to have to change the way that you answer the phone. So that's why that pitch is so important. So we talked about the 5 parts of a sales pitch, which is introduction, short story, presentation, close, and then the upsell. So when I first hired my office manager, what I did is I spent 90 days with her in the office every day working. Now, she works from home. Since then, she's not actually in the office anymore, but, you know, she was her first 90 days. And I worked with her 2-3 hours a day, every day, for her first 90 days. And one of the things that we established was the importance of a sales pitch from the time that you answer the phone. So if you guys noticed from that episode, one of the things that we talked about was a qualifying question. So there's 2 qualifying questions that you should be asking people when you answer the phone. One of them is how they found out about your company. So, you know, that's important because you want to know where to invest your marketing dollars, right? And then number 2, the thing she asked them is, do you by any chance, did you get a HOA violation? That is very important for this technique to work. So step number 1 is you're going to go back to the way you answer your phone, and you're going to ask every single person, you're going to add this qualifying question if they got a HOA violation or not. Now, what you're going to do with that information is you're going to open up a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet on your computer, save it somewhere on your computer, and you know, that spreadsheet, you can name it whatever. We just happen to name it, you know, HOA violations. And then what we do is we actually put that address into that database, basically spreadsheet, right? So we through the years, we accumulated thousands of addresses of people that got HOA violations. Why is this important? So from the moment that you know, right, in your marketplace that, hey, that neighborhood, that person right there that lives in that neighborhood just got an HOA violation. They're on that list of yours, right? So why is that information important? Guys, guess what? When these when these boards of these HOAs, when they send out violations, do you think they send it to just one person? Of course not. They send them out massively. So if 80, 90, 150, 200 people, guys, I've seen some people where I went to their house and I couldn't even see. I walked it with the owners and we couldn't even see what the violation was. Like, some of these HOAs are extremely picky with these homeowners. So they send out sometimes 200 plus violations all at once. So you can bet your bottom dollar. When one person got a violation, everyone in the neighborhood got a violation. So what you're going to do with that information, so step number 2, after, you know, step number 1, we talked about you want to make sure that you add the qualifier in your sales pitch when you answer the phone. Step number 2, you want to add that information to a spreadsheet, and what you're going to do with that information is very, very, very important. And this is what it is, okay? 1, you're going to need 100-yard signs, like those bandit signs, you know, and, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you got good information on those bandit signs. You know, you want to have your name. Very important to have your name, your phone number, pressure washing. Do not, guys, I repeat this, do not put a price on your bandit signs, okay? Don't put $199, $299, $250, or prices starting out. Don't put prices at all. Just put just that information alone. That's going to create good brand for you. I do not recommend putting pricing on bandit sign. It's something I've never done. So here you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to blanket that neighborhood, that violation, HOA violation neighborhood, with marketing. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put out about 5 to 10 yard signs, like maybe 3 to 5 within the neighborhood itself, and then you're going to put some around that neighborhood. Maybe there's like you know, a really popular intersection or something. You know, just drive around that neighborhood and see where you're going to strategically put these bandit signs, and then you want to put 4 to 5, maybe 4 to 6 bandit signs within the neighborhood itself. Now, I don't recommend you putting it on the stop sign, like in the entrance and exit of the neighborhood, because your competitors are going to see that. That's the first thing that they're going to see, because it's going to it's going to draw everybody's attention, and so it's only going to last a day or two. No, I recommend you drive in the neighborhood and find like a hidden spot in the neighborhood that only the people that live within that neighborhood are going to see it, and put it there. So you're doing about 10 of these bandit signs within this community, near this community and within this community. Now, the next thing that you're going to do for this, you're going to need those 6x9 postcards. Okay, 6x9 postcards. We've talked about this in great detail, right? So you're going to drive around that neighborhood that got the HOA violation, and what you're doing is you are looking for all of the dirty houses, and you're literally just going to walk up to the door and you're going to leave a flyer on your door. And so, you know, now you want to be extra picky, so even if they only just have one little stupid little like a little green spot or black spot, or maybe their windows have some bird poop or something, like, you want to be picky, because these people are super picky. And then the other thing is this: they also write up people for having nasty driveways and the concrete. So if you see really bad driveways, walk up there and put a flyer, a 6x9 postcard on their door. Now, what's going to happen when when you do this form of marketing? So again, you hit the neighborhood with maybe 75 to 100 postcards and 10 yard signs. So now people are going to come home. Imagine this, guys. You're a guy, you work at an office somewhere, right? And you come home and you see that you got this violation from the HOA saying that, you know, you got to, do the front of your house, or you got a couple spots on your house that look nasty, and they're going to fine you, because actually that's what they do. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. They fine these guys if they don't fix this. And then guess what, guys? Guess what? If you don't pay that fine, what the HOA takes it to the next level. They send out a warning letter to you, and then eventually, if you don't pay attention to that warning letter, they actually go to the court and they put a lien on your property. Now, some of you guys might be saying, wow, that is a bit harsh. I don't want to live in a community, or I don't want to live in an area where they have HOAs and they have rules like that, because that sounds kind of, well, aggressive, but it also sounds like you're living in a totalitarian type of place. Nobody likes living in a place like that, right? But guess what? Guess what? I've been to neighborhoods where they don't have HOAs, and I don't want to live in those neighborhoods as well, because you see people don't do their yard. You see lawns that are 4 or 5 feet tall. The grass is super tall. People don't care about their landscaping. The houses are super nasty. I just went to, there's actually one neighborhood here in my area that they don't have an HOA. And I went there because, and it's funny I bring this up because you know how in the previous episode we were talking about networking. So a guy hired somebody to come out and or call the company to come out and do an inspection of their roof, because they were thinking about getting the roof done. The inspector went out there, looked at it, and said, "No, your roof doesn't need to be replaced, but it needs to be cleaned. I suggest you call these guys Mr. Bubbles. Call Mr. Bubbles. They're going to clean it for you." So anyway, I get out there to clean this house, and the house next door, I couldn't even believe it. I wish I would have taken a picture to post it here for you guys. So because this is not an HOA neighborhood, the guy's house that I did his roof, the house next door, I mean, the guy basically had a trash dump in front of his house. Like, he had old refrigerators, mowers. He had one of those weightlifting machines. Guys, I'm talking about in front of his house. His house looked like a literal junkyard. And the homeowner there told me that it'd been years, like 10, 12 years, and hundreds of calls to the county, and the county's been out there a bunch, and they couldn't get the guy to clean the place up. Why? Because it's an HOA violation type of neighborhood, so there's only so much that they can do. So, you know, there's the pros, and the bottom line is that there's the pros and the cons of living in an HOA type of community. From my experience, when you live in an HOA type community, it's safer. The houses look a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot more organized, and overall, my gut instinct tells me also that it's like less crime and all of that stuff, because HOA, they stay on top of their stuff. And guess what, guys? Guess what? If you're listening to this video, we in the pressure washing industry, we love HOAs because it sends us so much work our way. Because guess what? it gives people a reason to call you, right? And that's the bottom line, because now they're stressed out. They're stressed out about getting this done. And we all know homeowners cannot do what we can do with the level of equipment, experience, and chemical knowledge. They can't do what we can do, so we can get out there and make the money that very few people are able to make. I think I've mentioned this before, guys. Like, it's very, very possible in this business to average $400 to $600 per hour. Per hour. That is not out of the realm of possibility. And HOAs, they can really help you out with that. So anyway, let's get back here to what we were talking about, how to actually get these HOA contracts. So once you've penetrated this neighborhood, okay, this fictitious neighborhood that we're talking about, customer called you, you found out he got a HOA violation, you went and you put 10 bandit signs that same day, you know, that night when you get home from work, you go out real quick, you chow down and you go out and you put out these bandit signs. Then one day that you're off that week, you go out and you blanket the whole neighborhood with your 6x9. People start calling you because guess what? They come home, they get that letter, they're all stressed out. They see that 6x9 offering them a solution to the problem, right, that they now have. So you're going to take that stress away from them. And guess what? For them, this is going to feel like serendipity, because they're going to be like, wow, I got this problem, and bam, here's the solution. Magically appear in front of me. They're going to feel like it's divine intervention. They're going to call you, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, we do a bunch of houses there in the neighborhood. A lot of your neighbors been calling us, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, it says here that you did one of my neighbor's house. Oh yeah, for sure. And you're going to go ahead and give them that price. Now, this is very important, guys. I'm going to tell you something. Getting HOA contracts is an art or a skill within a skill. You guys ever heard that saying? It's one of my favorite sayings ever. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let me repeat that. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's what I meant. So people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's the bottom line here for getting HOA contracts, because guess what? Guess what, guys? If you go into that community and you prove that you're a reputable company, that you know what you're doing, you're going to do quality work, you're going to build relationships within that community. And that's the point. Because guess what? Once you get into this neighborhood and you're knocking jobs out, and you've done 3 jobs, 4 jobs, all of a sudden 10 jobs, 12 jobs, you start to build relationships with people. And this is what you're going to do. Once you've gotten the trust of that community, because you're doing quality work and you're getting some 5-star reviews out of it, what you're going to do is you're going to find out from the community where the president of the HOA actually lives, okay? And every single one of these contracts that we have, which is up to 36 right now, we have 36 HOA contracts. Every single one of these contracts, we know the HOA president, we know who that person, he or she is, and we also power wash their house. And when I say we wash their house, we actually don't charge them to wash their house. So what you're going to do is, once you find out who that person is, you're going to go and knock on their door. And this is where that episode 52, that sales pitch, is going to help you, because you're going to have to sell yourself to that person. And again, I've mentioned this, guys, if you are not very good at selling yourself and selling your business, you're not going to make it very far in this business anyway. So this is a skill within a skill, and you're going to have to practice that. So the bottom line is, let's say you knock on this HOA president's house and you tell him, hey, you know, I'm from ABC Pressure Washing, and we've done a bunch of folks here in the neighborhood, and you know, we heard that you're the HOA president, and I wanted to you know, do some work for you on the house just to show you the quality of our work. They're not going to say no to that, right? They're not going to say no to that. One of the HOAs that we got, not this year but the last year, yeah, that's exactly how I did it. And his house, by the way, was immaculate. Like, there was not one spot on it, but I ended up doing his driveway. He was like, oh yeah, if you can do my driveway. And I built a relationship with him. Then a couple of weeks later, I emailed him, and that's the next step. I emailed this guy, and I said, hey, listen, you know, I'm already in your neighborhood. I'm doing tons of work. I've already done work for a bunch of people. And do me a favor. And you're going to talk to them about the idea of you coming up with the contract, where the general idea is through the HOA, you sign a contract, and that contract is going to be sent out to all the neighbors there in that community whenever they get the violation, for them to get a special price. Like, I'll give you guys a great example. So in this community I'm talking about, where I did the guy's driveway, we typically charge $375 to do a house in that neighborhood. And this neighborhood has 350 houses. So what we told the HOA president was, hey, through the HOA, we can lower our price from $375 to $299 for everybody, right? If a bunch of people sign up, we can knock off $75 off our price and run it through you guys, run it through the HOA. They're going to agree to it. But here's the thing, guys, and this is key, okay? This is key. We've been talking about this for, I don't even know how long on my channel, and this is probably the bread and butter of our marketing series, is branding, right? If you're trying to do this and you don't have a professional uniform, you don't have your vehicle wrapped, really you're wasting your time. I'm being straight honest with you guys. If you're showing up to these people's house, you don't have a uniform, you don't have any sort of marketing on your vehicle, guys, it's going to be very difficult for you. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be difficult, I would say borderline impossible, for you to achieve what I've achieved. I've been able to do it because I have an awesome online presence. My branding is on point. I have over 300 5-star reviews on Google. So once you get to that level, and my name is really well recognized in the marketplace in which I am, which, by the way, took me years and years and years and years and years of hard work for me to be able to achieve that, right? So guess what? Guess what, guys? My first HOA contract, I didn't get into my 7th year in business. That's why I started off this this part 5 by telling you guys that you know, this isn't really for new guys, because your brand's not there yet, your marketing's not there, your online presence is not there yet, you know, and it's going to take all of that. Because if you're showing up to this the president of the HOA, to that person's house, with a professional looking image, your truck is on point, then when that person looks you up, they see an awesome website with awesome before and after pictures. Guys, do this. After you watch this video, this episode, go to my channel, right? You see right here above on YouTube, MrBubbles.com. Just click on that, and then go to the section that says, I think it says gallery. Yeah, it says gallery. Look at all the pictures there. Okay, so you're going to see, you know, that makes a big impact for people, because people are going to be like, wow, they do quality work. And that's going to attract these sort of contracts. And by the way, the actual contract that I have a HOA contract that I can send you guys, and you guys can just copy and paste to your own business, so you don't have to create your own contract. I'll be happy to email that to you guys. My email's in the description below. But anyway, so once you've gotten into this neighborhood, it's very important for you to do work that is exceptional. Okay, let me say that again. You want to do exceptional work, because I actually had, I can't remember, it was a couple of videos ago when we were talking about this, and I had someone in my comment section, or maybe they emailed me, saying that, oh, HOA contracts that you're talking about are illegal and this and that and the other, and you can't do that. Hey, listen, all of these HOAs, okay, even if they tell you this or not, all of these HOAs, they have a list, what they call approved vendor list. Having an HOA contract is not illegal, okay? There's nothing illegal about it. Now, can a homeowner go outside of that contract and hire a different vendor? Yes, yes. It's not like I have a monopoly over the whole neighborhood. It's not like they only can only hire Mr. Bubbles. People are free to choose to hire whoever they want. However, my company is on this approved vendor list. On that list, you'll have landscapers, painters. What happens is, the reason why neighborhoods have these lists, guys, is because you have these guys, these scammers that go in there, they do crappy work, or they go and they scam people in the neighborhood. So these neighborhoods, they come up with this list and they email it. The HOA emailed this list to everyone in the neighborhood. So guess what? Every time they need an electrician or a roofer or whomever, they look at their list first, and they're going to call people that are on that list first. Think about it, guys. If you lived in a neighborhood, right, and you were going to call somebody and you knew that the neighborhood had a list of a bunch of vendors that are approved by the HOA, wouldn't you seriously call people on that list first? Let's be realistic here for a second. Of course you would, right? So that's how I ended up on that list, is by networking with people in the neighborhood, building relationships. Again, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So you build relationships. You go to the owner, the president of the HOA, go to that person's house, build a relationship with that person, and through that person, you're going to get this contract going where every single time, think about this, guys. Imagine every single time the HOA sends a letter out to these people with their violations, every single time they say, oh, by the way, on this letter, call these guys here, because this is the company that we have a contract with, and they're going to be able to give you a bigger discount. Boom. Right then and there, you got 200 clients right there that you're going to be able to get. And like I said, guys, this, for us right now, it accounts for 30% of our business. As a matter of fact, guys, guess what? I could eliminate every form of marketing, and if I were to start my company again and all I had was these HOA contracts, like I said, that's $500,000 a year. I would say, man, I would venture out to say probably 99% of you guys listening to this right now, your pressure washing business doesn't even do $500,000 a year. So this is going to work great for you. But guys, this is something that, you know, like all my other forms of marketing that I have for you guys, you're going to see the results on it very quickly. Like very, very quickly. But this HOA thing is something that, it's like I said, it's a skill that Mr. Bubbles, I developed this skill for myself. And so, you know, you're going to be able to do it as well. But it's going to take you time to marinate and get really good at it. But get out there and practice. Hit these HOA violation neighborhoods hard. Guess what? If you go in there and you do crappy work, yeah, you're going to end up on a list, and you're not going to be able to get in that neighborhood again. Get into these vendor lists, approved vendor lists for the neighborhood. And then the last thing that I'm going to say about that, about this HOA contract, is this. Actually, I got two more things to say about it, is this. A lot of you guys don't actually know this, but if you go to your HOAs, their websites, a lot of these websites allow you to do marketing on their website. And they charge like, man, I think the most expensive one that I seen was $35 a year. A year. And they let you put like your flyer on their business, on their website. So guys, reach out to these HOAs to do marketing, through their website. And then the last thing I was going to say about this, I actually mentioned it on my previous video about email marketing. Buy a list, right? If you're a big company, all of these things I'm talking about are for guys that are, 4 or 5 years and up in a business. So if you're listening to this and you're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, and you want to take your business to the next level, I would suggest you get into the HOA game. And one of the things that the shortcut that you can take is buy a list. It's going to cost you anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500. The one that we bought cost $1,200, but we actually bought a list of all the HOAs. It comes with the name of the president, the person's email, and the person's phone number. So we can reach out to all of these people through email. We don't actually call or text people, but we do email them, and in order to get these things rocking and rolling. So the bottom line, guys, is this is something that you can do that nobody else, I guarantee you guys, nobody else in the marketplace is doing this, because I feel like, man, guys, don't quote me on this one, but I almost feel like this is like a concept that I created for myself, and now you guys can spread it out there and make it impactful in your marketplace for you to dominate your competition. So, if it's, guys, the bottom line is, if it worked for me, and I am nothing special, it's definitely going to work for you. Like anything else, it just takes a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of work for you to be able to get out there and get these contracts. And again, guys, I actually have this this HOA blueprint. You know, all of this stuff that we talked about right now, I have it written out. So if you want that blueprint, I'll send it to you along with the actual HOA contract for you guys to look at. So when you do end up getting an HOA contract, you can just copy and paste that stuff. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really appreciate you coming on my channel and watching this how to get customers for your pressure washing business video. I highly recommend you guys watch the next episode as well. Guys, in that episode, we're going to be breaking down for you guys how to exactly, guys, we're going to do a deep dive into your Google My Business, how to optimize your Google My Business so you can dominate your competition in your local area. And as always, guys, please email me. I answer all of the emails. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. So, you know, I every day when I turn on the computer, you know, I get about, man, some days I get 30 to 50 emails, and it's hard to keep up with it. But guys, I love interacting with you guys. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.